All right, everybody, welcome into 4th and 5 as we are now about to have our Let Grant Cook segment. Grant Cook is here about to show film of the offensive line performance. Some good, some not so good. But when you put up 42 points on the offensive side of the ball, it's usually a pretty good day for your offensive line.
Yeah, I think we played well enough. Feel like 42 points, and we'll really say 35. I think the 42 or the 42nd points came in some trash minutes, like kind of we talked about in the post game show. But had a lot of success on the ground running the ball, which is not something A&M's accustomed to letting happen. So kind of excited about that piece, but overall, just not quite enough as a team to get the win on Saturday, which is kind of another, disappointing loss. We talked a lot last week about not believing in moral victories, and this one feels kind of like it has some of the tendencies of a moral victory again.
It's tough.
And we need some real victories soon. I think everybody's kind of tired of that, but um, enough of that. We'll jump straight into it.
Yeah.
This first play, I really love what Caden Kittler does here. This is kind of an NFL type scheme. And so you'll see, we'll go to the end zone here. He really kind of gives Carmona some help, and not in your traditional way, because he knows he's got to get to this linebacker up here, number 0, I believe, or number 8, something like that.
Yep.
He sticks his foot in the ground and just kind of same arm, same legs this guy back into Carmona.
Nice.
And he keeps everything square, and now, bang, I can go get on this linebacker. Now, Michael Washington, he sets this whole thing up because he presses that line of scrimmage, that straight line, that vertical line, and he makes that linebacker commit. And so he brings him straight to Cade, and then he cuts off Cade, and you can see here just down the field. And it was a beautiful play all the way around.
I'll say he is as advertised. We heard all offseason Coach Pacino saying he reminds me of Nile Davis. He's special. And we were like, who's this kid from New Mexico State? And man, he's each and every week, I feel like he's getting better and better. So, I still don't even think we've seen the best of Mike Washington. And before we talk about this next play, how special is it and how motivating is it when you know you got a guy like that in the backfield as an offensive lineman just to hold on to that block a little bit longer?
Yeah, I think it's almost we played with several of them. One of them had his jersey retired on Saturday. So
There we go.
But as an offensive lineman, yeah, if you know you got a guy back there that can hit a home run at any time, you want to block for him. Hey, let's get off the field in a couple of plays, and let's let this guy run wild. Nile Davis, Dennis Johnson, Ronnie Wing. We played with a lot of guys that they got the ball in their hand. There was a chance it was going to the house.
Yep.
And it does. It motivates you, and it makes your job a lot easier when they make you look good, like Mike Washington did on that last play.
All right, let's go and take a look at this next one. Obviously, what a way to start the game. You get to the red zone. Now, we were kept out of the end zone in that first drive, but still, this is a very impressive thing that you don't see happen a lot when it comes to offensive line blocking scheme.
Yeah, so a little bit of maybe a zone scheme here, kind of a lead play. So a lead play would be offensive lines kind of simulating pass protection, but it's going to be a run play. But we pass off this what they call a TT stunt, a tackle stunt. So both defensive tackles kind of twisting around each other. And Brandon passes this off to Cade. Cade sees it, leans back in again, gets that hand back in there. They pass this thing off and give ourselves an opportunity to be successful on this play. Now, there is nobody for that front side linebacker at that point. So Cardia kind of wishes now we're getting really specific, okay?
Yeah.
Can we let the looper go? Can we stay on this block and then work that up to
Here, let me go back.
Okay.
All right, so we're talking about
we're talking about
it how?
Right here. So turn that into a double team. Let the looper go because he won't get there. So number 5 is looping over. Instead of Branham splitting off and going and getting this, work this double team up, and now somebody go get this linebacker. And let's say that you take the linebacker out of the equation here. Let's just all play a little game of he doesn't exist. Does that look better, or do we score here?
I think we score. I'm taking
I
Mike
think
Washington one on one with this guy right here.
I think number 3 probably can't stop Mike Washington making contact with him at the 2 or 3 yard line.
Now, those are like if ands. Now they blocked it, I'm assuming how they were supposed to. But what elite
Blocked it how
level
they
of
blocked it.
yeah.
I'll say that. I mean, and so yeah, I mean, now next level, right? You get 5 guys that have played with each other for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yep.
That kind of stuff is where you get to. You don't look over here and take this guy away. You say, oh, hey, he's not going to make the play from behind, not on Mike Washington. And so those are kind of some of the things that maybe transfer portal hurts because you don't get
Mm.
that continuity for 3 or 4 years anymore. But yeah, I mean, I'm being super nitpicky
Hey,
on
man,
that play. I mean that.
you sound like me. I get the nitpicky. I mean, the thing about it is, I think experienced vets in those situations, those are the times when you go back and watch film and the coaches look at you and they're just like, hey, good stuff. Real good stuff. Hey, that's big time. Yeah, we've seen it all the
Well, I
time.
mean, it then it becomes being a football player.
Yep.
What makes the most sense here? Staying on this, working up to the linebacker, or looping? So, but I'm super impressed that we were able to get that picked up at all and not let someone loose. All
All
right,
right, on the goal
goal
line. What you
line.
got?
We're on the goal line, boys. We're inside the 5 yard line. Pad level has never been more important. I mean, that 5 yards on either end of the field, pad level has got to be your best friend. And right here, they're playing below us. And you can see the penetration that happens here. Also, it maybe feels like, and I'll kick it to you on this one from the tight end
Yeah.
position, but it feels like that what would be the backside tight end based on where the play went. Maybe thought he was the front side. I'm not sure, but he
Yeah.
let this defensive end go. You can wind it back
Yeah,
here
we got
and
another
see.
situation where you give uh Mike Washington another opportunity. So when we were looking at this, I'm looking at Platt right here. Okay. Look at Jordan Platt. He's this tight end that's going to be right here. And his first step is off to the right. And based off, Talon's eyes, usually when you see stuff like that happen, you think, oh, you're letting him go. He's supposed to be a free guy and the quarterback's going to read him. But Talon's looking there. Where's my little graphics at? Yeah, he's way over here.
He's looking
I can't
front
even.
side.
Yeah, he's looking front side. So I think this one's on Platt. I think he just went the wrong way. And his guy is the one that comes through and makes first contact with Mike Washington in the backfield. And you typically know when somebody's doing something wrong. If you once again take a look at Platt right here, his eyes are looking like, uh-oh. He's when you're looking back the opposite way from where you just came from is usually a big indicator that you messed up. Okay. And so once again, a big missed opportunity because once again, Mike Washington, full head of steam. You put him in another one-on-one situation with this guy right here, and I think he puts his shoulder in his chest, and he could potentially push this to the goal line. That's a tough one right
Well,
there. Go ahead.
DJ, I said if you offensive lineman, and I'll say this as a blocking tight end, if you ever see the handoff, you're probably not doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's not good at
You're
all.
probably not facing the right way. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think Mike Washington at least gets us down to the 1 or 2 yard line if he doesn't score that. And so
Yeah.
now you're talking about a Philadelphia Eagle tush push situation for a
Yeah.
touchdown on an opening drive that we needed it.
All right. I mean, freeze frame right here, Grant. I mean,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I mean this is inside zone blocking at its finest. Uh, from the amount of movement we get from
Wow,
the
look at
offensive
that.
line here.
Look at that.
I mean, when we talk about building a wall, I mean there's a lot of red jerseys between the white jerseys and the guy that's running the ball right there. And if you give Braylon or Mike Washington that type of opportunity, that's what you just saw is what happens. Both of those guys, obviously, extremely talented. Now, I think we've got an end zone cut here. The one thing that once again, I love it. It worked out great. But if I'm coaching this, I'm coaching, hey, where are your eyes? So Inside zone, you got 4 guys on defense, 4 guys on offense. You got Carmona, you got Kittler, you got Branham, you got Marion Harris. They're going to block these 2 defensive tackles up to these 2 linebackers. Okay, so you don't know who's leaving the block to go to a linebacker. They dictate that.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, whoever takes this thing over, you both have to have your eyes on the linebacker, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, pushing through the defensive tackle up to the linebackers. If the linebacker flows over the top, Cade, boom, I'm off. Carmona takes it over. If he stays play side, pretty much you can just wash him out because you know the ball's going back to the right side.
Yep.
But you can see here, Branham ends up going to this backside linebacker because he shows his face first. This front side linebacker, who's highlighted right here, flows over the top, and thank goodness he thought this thing was going to the sideline for some reason, and we just cut up underneath it. But Marion's got to have his eyes up. We all have to know where everybody is. It worked out great. I mean, wonderful play. Braylon does a really good job staying inside of that guy and getting 15, 20 yards right there. But those are the things, as we progress, people are going to make those plays. And instead of 20 or 15 or 20 yard run, you're going to get hit in the backfield for no gain.
Like I said, we're going to point out all the things, even on the great plays, and we're not going to be mad about it, but there's always room for improvement. That's just how we roll. Another one right here, we also will highlight when other people from other teams play in a manner of which we've been talking about, specifically when it comes to our defense. Grant, how often have we said, defensive guys, just get your nose in there, blow somebody up, understand that you are not the one who's going to get the tackle, but you play a huge role in blowing this stuff up so one of your other teammates can. I can't think of a better example right here. Just take a look at this linebacker coming downhill. I'll go through it. I'll let you get us through the end zone angle. But watch this linebacker coming up on this pulling guard. Watch this, explodes right here. Boom. I mean, talk about disrupting the whole play. Not going for the running back, knowing that's my responsibility. Let me throw the timing off on this play and let my guys come down here and figure it out. But what's this look like from your angle, Grant?
Yeah, so I mean, Cade's pulling around. We talked about hammer or nail, right? And I mean that's not being the hammer right there. And Matt talked about it a lot of times in defense, and same thing with offense. I mean, offensive line, I don't get to score the touchdowns. I mean, I'm out there blocking. So, at the end of the day, this is kind of that same scenario. He knows he's not going to make the tackle, but what he does is he makes Mike Washington bow out just enough to let the rest of the pursuit, which they pursued their tail off right here, they bowed it out just enough to let the pursuit catch up. Now, backside, I want to see Carmona rip through this guy, be a defensive lineman for a second, rip through number 5, take a path up to number 27 that's on an angle, you know where the ball's going, and throw a cut block, man. Get that guy on the ground. Get that backside linebacker on the ground. Same thing right here for Corey. Get that backside defensive end on the ground. Throw a cut block. Now, take number 5 out of the play. Is there an opportunity to cut this thing back right here if number 5 is about 7 yards over
100%.
to the right in this picture, laying on the ground? Could Mike stick his foot in the ground and cut north and south right here potentially?
Possible.
If number 27 wasn't there? So there's some things right there where if you eliminate those 2 guys with cut blocks or at least hold them up long enough, maybe this still has a chance to be successful.
That 20 now we're showing this hit on Rittler, right? Cade. But
Cade Kittler,
this is just football. This is what I mean, he's in a tough spot because this linebacker is pulling a classic Jermaine Love from back in the day. No regard for the play at all, just looking to blow something up. I'll tell you this, as an offensive guy, there is a way to slow these linebackers down when you start throwing at those legs. All right. So this is one where I would go back to the coach on the sideline and like, what happened? Like, coach, they are coming downhill. They're going 1,000 miles an hour. And that's when, okay, we got something for them. Let's go ahead and do a little outside zone. And as soon as they start running down the field, go ahead and go with those knees and see if they keep coming downhill the rest of the game. Is that still legal?
Yeah, man, I don't know. It was when we played. That's why I'm saying here, throw them all, baby. Throw those cut blocks. I mean, you're exactly right, though. If a guy comes screaming downhill, you better believe my helmet is disappearing, and the next thing that's going to hit the ground is his face mask. I mean, he is toast. Like,
Oh
please
man.
sprint full speed at me, please. I
Yes.
promise. Please do
Oh
that.
yeah. That's good
Uh,
stuff.
oh yeah, but
All right.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you know I think backside right there, it opens all that up. And Matt talked about it some on Saturday, where, you know, backside safeties, backside linebackers, a lot of times are the ones that scrape across and make the play.
This next play is interesting because usually when stuff like this happens, the first thing people say, the offensive line can't block anybody. All right. But as we go ahead and roll this back, you're going to see this guy blitzing off the edge, and people think it's all on the O line all the time. This one I'm putting on Talon. The reason I say that, because we talked about this beforehand, and we were talking about a lot of people say, well, you got the two high safeties. Well, I think one thing as we educate people, and college is a lot easier to see and read because the hashes are wider in college than they are the NFL. The NFL, the hashes are really close to each other. And if you are new to this and you're trying to figure out what the hash is, the hash are these lines right here. Okay, so that's one hash, and then you got two hashes. Okay, so usually in cover two or that type of zone, you would have maybe defenders outside of the hashes, or at least maybe right on them. Okay, but most of the time in some type of man, you usually have a guy right in the middle of the hashes. Okay. And so these are what we call indicators. So usually when you get that, if I were tailing, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but this is at least what they're showing me. So this is what we're going to assume first. And at the snap of the ball, if there's rotation in the secondary and they eventually get to those spots, then I have to think, okay, now I know the coverage. Let me get to my read. It has to happen that quick. Okay. And so right now he should be thinking cover one or some type of man. The biggest indicator of it's like, how is he supposed to know this guy's coming? How is he supposed to know? Is because they're showing their hand. Okay. And the reason I know they're showing their hand is most of the time when you have defensive backs stacked like this, the deeper guy who's back here, he usually stacks over this guy that is covering this receiver in the slot because he knows that that guy's blitzing and he has to be in position to pick him up in man-to-man coverage. That's a really big blitz indicator. So how do you block it? You don't. Why is that? Because the offensive line, they have to account for this guy. They don't know he's going to back out into coverage, so they have to assume that he's coming. And so who's responsible for blocking this guy that is blitzing off the edge? Talon is not physically blocking him, but understanding I have to get the ball out on time. And based off all of this, okay, I know that's a lot, but trust me, these guys have these conversations and they know that. Then he has to pick who's going to run the route where I can get it out quick based off coverage. And he should instantly be looking at this corner down here who's playing soft coverage and man to man. That's where he needs to know this ball is going to go. All right. So as I press play right here, you see CJ Brown. He's right down here. Throw the ball. The thing about it is, how many times has this happened, Grant? We're just like, we want Talon to see these things. Is he not looking right at it? That's where it just, this is what gets me, because I know a lot. We say it all the time. How does he not see that? He sees it. The question is, why is he not throwing it? It happened very
Yeah.
early in the game too, to a tight end on the infamous Cowboy go get it pass. Now it was a little different rendition, but essentially the same concept. Rohan Jones is running wide open down the field, an easy throw and catch for a touchdown, and he's looking at it. He just doesn't throw it because he felt like he saw a safety somewhere that he really wasn't. And so these plays right here, I just was going to take a second to showcase. Sometimes when this happens, I think offensive linemen get too much of the brunt end of saying, can they not block anybody? This one should have been on Talon. I mean, look at it right here. Even from this angle, this is
Looking
how
right at the
Talon is
blitzing.
see. Yeah, this is how Talon is looking at it. As soon as he sees, once again, those two guys right here stacked, his it should have just went up instantly. Alert, alert. And then he looks at it, he sees it coming. I don't get what's holding him from throwing that ball. Get it out of your hand. Now, we are saying all this as if this is an awful play. He still picks up what, 9 yards on this, but he doesn't have to, and we can't rely on that all the time.
Well, I agree, and I mean, hey, we're going to go roll back to that one more time. I had a couple
Yeah.
points to make, but I mean, yeah, he picks up 9 yards. Incredible play, very athletic. But you saw later in the game too, where this big loopy drop, a sack evading run got him in
Yep.
big time trouble. I mean, last drive of the game, down 10 or whatever it was, we get sacked for 20 yards because, he's not probably the fastest person on the field anymore. You get the same amount
Mm.
of yards or more by throwing it to CJ right now. And, is he confused on the route concept? Is he confused? I don't think. I mean, he's looking right at everything that he needs to look at right here. So the one thing too is if you roll it back to right at pre-snap or right as the ball snapped. So as an offensive lineman in Coach Petrino's offense, when we break the huddle, we are also looking at all of this stuff. One high, two high, where are the linebackers? What are they showing you? And to DJ's point, anytime that you have, especially if it's a single receiver side and you see a safety cheated way over there, it is an automatic indicator to us. And you'll see if you ever watch those old games, a lot of times the tackles will point out here and say cowboy or,
Hmm.
whatever, to let the quarterback know, hey, we see something. And that's where you get all 11 people on the same page when you're running this offense, because it's easy for the quarterback to miss something that, maybe the 10 other guys saw. Let's communicate it. But yeah, I think that you're exactly right. I mean, Carmona's got to assume that this linebacker that's walked up is blitzing, and he'll set to that. And then now, from offensive line, if we want to be super picky, as soon as he doesn't declare himself as a rusher,
Right there.
let's get back in. Now, I can tell right now with where his eyes are, there was a slide protection to the left.
Yep.
Because he's got his hand in here helping Cade, and his eyes are over here at Corey. And so, and Colby's coming down on this one technique. So, Taylor's just got to know that if I'm not checking this or I'm not, whatever, I'm not reading what the defense is giving me, that I've got to make the right decision based on knowing this guy's coming. I don't think they knew that he was blitzing. I don't think anybody on that field knew that guy was going to blitz, because otherwise you could have just picked it up. I mean, there's a famous clip. You start getting to the cerebral parts, and I'll throw Aaron Rodgers' name out there. But, I mean, we're talking super high level. There's the clip of him mic'd up or whatever, and this linebacker saying something, whatever, and he just like, you're not coming. And he just kind of like says it in the middle of the game. He's like, nah, you're not coming. And, when you know that kind of stuff as a quarterback, especially pre-snap, man, the game becomes so much easier.
Oh, so much easier. So much easier. And the thing, I know we get the first down, but how many times in this situation, right? Why are these graphics not popping up? They may pop up. All right, anyway, whenever you roll out like this, do you get this holding call? Happens a lot. Lucky
or does that guy just catch one little shoestring and bam, we're down on the 45 now.
Yeah. Now, like I said, we've now picked apart two plays that were really good plays for us stat wise, but just once again, we're always looking for areas to improve. All right, now we're going to do something a little different, Grit. You wanted to take a look at the defensive side of the ball. We had a really good end zone view on a lot of these plays, and that was our time we really focused on just like individual effort. And we also saw themes across the line of scrimmage with our D line, the biggest one being stuff you want to point out right here.
Yeah, so funny enough, same end zone, and really kind of one of the same plays that I talked about our third play we went over for the offensive line for Arkansas, except we've just switched everything around. Their pad level for A&M is better than our pad level again, but from the offensive perspective. And it's no different, offense or defensive line. Pad level is going to win on anywhere in the field, but especially inside the 5-yard line. And so this is one thing I went through this film. So I watched all the offensive plays, and then I went back and watched all the defensive plays, pulled a few out of each. But I watched this as if I were critiquing the Texas A&M offensive line against who they were playing.
Yep.
So I did it just like I do our offensive line. Would I pass or fail this play based on what I see? And for this, it's a pass. I mean, they're coming off the ball now. I don't know necessarily what play they're trying to run or what their call is or what their assignments are, but I can pretty well tell you that right here, pad level is going to win. And it looks like they're running some sort of a little zone play or just straight up run play. Now, zone read, obviously, because their quarterback keeps it. Marcel Reed, I think is his name.
Yep.
Now, I do want to point out one more thing. I'm kind of looking at the defensive line here, but number 16 down here, we got Justice Boone, number 0, clearly crashing down. His assignment is take the running back away, and he's doing that. He's coming down the line. He's going to hit number 4. Number 16 is folding over the top. I'm assuming he has contain. So at this point, if he's not dropping into coverage, unless he's trying to cover number 17 right here, I don't know what he's waiting for. To me, this is a automatic, okay, I've got the quarterback. I don't have to think about this anymore. I need to get upfield and go make a play.
Oh, drives me nuts. Just pull the trigger. What are you looking at? It's so hesitant on that side of the ball. And it's not just, it's a lot of people in these situations, Grant, that are just sitting there waiting. Just pull the trigger. I mean, there's nothing else going on out. Everything is taken care of and accounted for. Go make this play in the backfield. But then the hesitancy.
Yep.
And not even that. Let me go back just a little bit. You see how he jumps inside first? Why? There's nothing to make you jump inside right there. Nothing. Oh, Lord. It's tough. It's tough to watch. All right. Now we are going to say some good things, too. Defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. So if you look at the bottom half of the screen here, we've got Justice Boone again at the defensive tackle position and Xavier Sori running a little line game. And the line game was successful. Now, what I would like to see is Justice, if I'm playing offensive line against a defensive lineman, talking about things that I would hate to have to block, I would like to see him penetrate to that tackle's hips, that outside offensive lineman's hip a little bit more. You make that guard commit to the block at that point because he can't pass it off. And what that does is it allows Xavier Sori, the looper in this scenario, to come completely free. Now, he does really kind of do that. I mean, he comes pretty much free. It's just now we're talking about whoever has, this running back in coverage wasn't there. So the pressure really didn't get to the quarterback because he just dumps it off and they have a successful play. But I did want to highlight that it's a good line game on the man-to-man side of this offensive line here.
Let's keep it moving. This is third quarter. Just started, maybe the first play in the third quarter, and they open up with this in the second half. That was a tough one coming out of halftime with all that momentum, and then they get right back on the field. And this is something you also wanted to talk about.
I did.
Before you say anything, when we went over this, I didn't even take into consideration that this was the first play at a halftime. I thought maybe it was, maybe 6 or 7 plays into a drive and you're a little tired. But go ahead.
I'm not going to say it's the first play because it looks like they're on the 40, maybe like the 37, 38.
Hold on, let me look.
Maybe
at this
they ran
time.
a couple of plays.
First down.
So they're on the 30. They're on the 37.
What could they have ran? Kickoff return.
Yeah, they ran a couple of plays. I mean, they probably didn't field the kick.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Let's say we're 3 plays in. Okay,
fair enough.
But
yeah,
either way,
go ahead.
This is truthfully an offensive lineman's dream when I say this. So we got Ian Dreffard here. There's just not much push here. I mean, this guy's 360 pounds. I'm not expecting him to come in with the spin move and a rip and come around the line, but we can bull rush and we can do something, man. You can use what talent and abilities and what God's given you from a gift of size to do something here. But in my mind, is 54 and 55, are they giving max effort right here to block him? Or did they just get to run a play for free and save
Yep.
their energy? And I'll
Let's
let you
take.
guys you can
Yeah.
comment and tell us down below. But I mean, that looks like two guys just kind of standing there. Well, three guys. One of them's a Razorback standing there.
It's awful.
And
That's
to me,
awful.
it's just one of those things where if that's the effort, then I mean, I don't know really what to say. I mean, there's the age old saying, "Hey, we can win with that effort." I don't know that we can with that.
You also talked about Cam on this outsider right here. Go and take a look. 1-on-1 with the tackle. Let me see something,
Yep,
right?
yep. And so I see the bull rush, right? But when the bull rush doesn't work, and this is, I think any offensive lineman will tell you, he's coming in. He looks like he's trying to go with like a little bit of speed to power. So he's trying to give him a little head fake and then come in with the bull rush. But let's say the quarterback doesn't take off right here. We got to get to a second move. And generally, that's where the offensive lineman is going to have the biggest problem. Spin out of that thing, rip up underneath, do something where we're getting to a secondary move versus just kind of getting into a shoving match, because at this point, you're blocked. I mean, the offensive lineman's got his hands inside. He's just slowly trickling backwards. That's a win for him, and he thinks that. But if you don't give up on that, you get to a second move, then you're still making him block you. But yeah, I don't
There
know.
was an interesting thing I did point out. If you're hurt and it's jeopardizing the team, sit on the sideline. Now I get it. We're light at defensive line. We don't have a lot of people, but if that type of effort and that type of performance, let's just look at Ian specifically, because watch this at the bottom of the screen. Okay, I'm gonna press play. You'll see him pop up. You see 95 right here in the bottom of your screen. It looks to me like he's hurt. You said maybe tired, but let's just say hurt for argument's sake. Okay, watch him right here. See this? Plays going on. He's already. It looks like maybe a shoulder issue, maybe. Um, if that's the case and he is dealing with something like that, that would potentially explain to me a lot of those plays that we looked at individually when we said, "Hey, let's watch 95 on this play," and you're just sitting there like, "What's he doing out there?" And to me, it does look like he's hurt. And so I just don't care, in my opinion. If you can't go, then you got to sit on the bench. And coaches, I get you may not have another option, but this is what happens. He plays, he continues to be hurt the rest of this game and the next week and the week after that. Like, if he is dealing with that and he's performing bad, give him time to rest up and get healthy so we can get a better version of him at some point. But now if you're tired, that's a different ball game. All right. You wanted to pick up here on this 1st and 5 at the 30. With 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Let's go and take a look at it right here. Yikes. What you got for me?
Yeah, so I want to talk about the nose guard once again. So we're going to have kind of a double team up to number 14. Is that Bradley
That is
Shaw?
Dix.
Stephen
Stephen
Dix.
Dix.
All right.
Yep.
So right here at nose, when you feel this pressure from this defensive or this offensive guard, sorry, man, I'm still thinking offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, yep.
But when you feel this pressure from the guard, number 54, you got to fight that pressure back.
Yeah.
You can't get removed that heavily. But you can see here, 60 and 54 working up through the nose guard up to Stephen Dix. And then 78, all right, it looks like to me he's supposed to chip through this defensive end. And maybe, to be honest with you, they're reading number 44. So if it's a give, it's a give if he doesn't crash, it's a pull if he does. And so I don't mind this from the defensive end because I think he has contained the
Yeah.
way he's playing that. Who I do have an issue with is Xavier Sori.
Yeah.
And
So
this is one that we
contained by
talked
this
about in the
DN,
postgame.
right? You're saying that's
He's playing
what we
defensive
need
end.
right here. Look at that. That's perfect. Perfect number.
Yep.
What he's got going on. And
Yep.
so, yeah, let's talk about our guy and make this make sense, because we don't know what's happening right here. Xavier Sorey, right? Let's
I
take a look
mean,
at him.
if you watch him at the snap of the ball, he comes screaming downhill like he's going to fill that lane, which is based on, I mean, once again, I don't know the defensive call, but it feels like that's exactly where he should be. And he sticks his foot in the ground right at the mesh point and bounces outside. And I don't know what, I don't know. I can't, I don't know. And I
Wow.
mean, this guy just gets the ball and runs straight ahead. I mean, he never has to cut. I mean, he just runs straight ahead. So
Whew. It's rough film right there.
tough,
Um,
tough.
Defensively, man, like I said, Matt Harris is going to be talking about the defense come Thursday, but I will go back to the offensive line and side of things. How do you feel about the overall performance?
Yeah, I thought we played well enough. Like I said, I mean, I don't have the stat sheet in front of me, but I mean, put up over 500 yards of offense. Had a lot of successful stuff. There's some things that needed to be cleaned up, like there is in most games. And I think a lot of us come from the school of Coach Petrino, which
Mm.
is it's a lot more fun to learn from a win than it is learn from a loss. And just because you were successful or you had some good plays in there and score, ran for 500 yards, or not ran for, but had total 500 yards of offense and all those things, and don't think you have to change anything, then you're sadly mistaken. There's opportunities for us to be better in there. And I know Matt was very passionate in the post game press conference, but post game press conference, post game show
We had our own presser
about.
outside.
I know it felt like it. But I think um, the offense's goal should be to go score 50 points every game, whether they feel like they have to or not. And I think that we have the ability to score a ton of points this year, but we have got to do the right things. And it doesn't feel like we're going to have a defense that is going to go out and shut people down where we're not going to have to be on. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that just is how it feels right now. So in my mind, let's go get better. Let's go find those plays where we didn't quite get it just right, and it could have been a home run, and it ended up being 10 yards. And I know that it'll drive people crazy. We'll probably see it in the comments of us picking apart plays that were successful, but they don't have to be that hard to be successful. And so that's what I want to see. I mean, we got to continue to get better. I know they're going to go back to the drawing board this week. You got an Auburn team coming in that's reeling a little bit. 4 straight losses. We're on 5 straight losses. So someone's getting a win Saturday.
Yay.
I don't know who it's going to be. Is the team going to break a 5-game lose streak, or is it the team that's going to break a 4-game losing streak? So we're due for a win, and I think we have the ability to win. But Hugh Freeze is known for his offense as well. So our defense is going to have to button it up and get some things figured out, and our offense is going to have to click a little bit better than it has the last couple weeks. But 42 points against a number 19th ranked defense in the country, only allowing 3 third down conversions out of 37 in SEC play. I don't think that we have a ton to complain about on the offensive side of the ball, but it could be cleaner. I guess that's what I'm
Isn't
trying to
that
say.
one just the tell of how it's been for this program for a long time? When one side of the ball does great, the other one can't match it. A little light went out.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's all right. I get it. They need to play lights out. I know that. But offense, defense against Tennessee, the number one offense in America, averaging 51 points a game. They held them to 30, 31, 34? What was the score of that game?
30,
34, 34.
34,
Yeah, they hold
31.
him to 34 with giving him 3 turnovers, and so impressive. And then you can't really get nothing going against A&M. So I'll let that light go ahead and be a sign for us to go ahead and wrap this thing up. But Grant, I appreciate you as always. And like we said, one team is going to break that winning streak or snap it. That is, hopefully it's Arkansas. I will say this. I think this may be the game on the schedule that could I think right now the fans are holding on. I really do think they are. If we drop this one, it may be a different ball game. It may be. All right, Grant. I appreciate
you got 2 in a row.
Yeah,
You got 2 in a row here.
you got to win these 2
with Auburn and Mississippi State. If you're going to find a couple, Those are the two that you're going to find.
Gotta have them.
And man, you never know. You've been in the locker rooms just like I have. You put a couple of these things together, people kind of get back on. I mean, it just kind of you start steamrolling a little bit. Then you go, I can't remember the schedule. If you go to LSU or Texas first,
You go to
Texas hasn't looked that
Texas.
great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, this sounds like the most like Homer things ever. But I mean,
Oh, let's hear it.
truthfully,
Let's hear it.
it does. I mean, it does feel like if you can get a win Saturday, scratch it out. I don't know how it works, but defense shows up a little bit more. Offense is clicking a little bit better. You find a win. Mississippi State comes to town. You find another win. Texas hasn't looked all that great this year. Find another opportunity down there. Maybe you find a win there. And now you kind of put a little bit of something together that you can be proud of. I mean,
Yep.
you got LSU and Missouri at the end of the year, which LSU, top 10 team. But who knows, man? You start putting some wins together, get people back in the bandwagon, and some crazy things happen. That's why you go play the games. They don't just draw it up on paper and say, well, this team's better than this one. I mean, hey, you got to go play.
I like it, man. I'm with you. We sound like Josh now. But it's not far-fetched. We could win the rest of our football games. We could win out.
I thought, man, you said the West. You meant to say the rest. I thought you were about to say the West, which there is no divisions anymore. I was like, statistically, I don't think that's a capability anymore.
Yo. Anyway. All right, man. I appreciate you, man. As always, man. Have a